Live from New Delhi, you're watching DD India Live, India's voice to the world. I am Deepika Mehto, and coming up in the next 30 minutes. Campaigning to end on Sunday evening for the third phase of India's general elections. 93 seats in 11 states and union territories to go to polls on the 7th of May. Progress in Gaza truce talks after first round of negotiations ended in Cairo. Talks to now resume on Sunday. Hamas reiterates deal should include commitment towards an end to the conflict. Devastating floods ravage East Africa. Over 600,000 people have been affected. Tropical cyclone Hidayah threatens to worsen humanitarian crisis in flooded nations. And in sports, world number 1 Iga Swiatek outlasts Arina Sabalenka in marathon final to win the Madrid Open, and Rublev to face Felix Auger in men's finale on Sunday. So those were the top headlines of the hour that we're tracing for all our viewers here on DD India Live. And now let's get you the latest on the world's largest democratic elections across India. Campaigning for the third phase of India's general elections will end on Sunday evening, and voting for this phase will be held on the 7th of May across 93 constituencies covering 10 states and 1 union territory. The states that will go to polls are Assam, Bihar, Chhattisgarh, Goa, Gujarat, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Uttar Pradesh, West Bengal, Dadra and Nagar Haveli, along with Daman and Diu. Now, as many as 1,351 candidates are in the fray for the third phase polls. Some of the prominent names contesting Lok Sabha elections include Union Home Minister Amit Shah, Rebel BJP leader K.S. Eshwarappa, Union Minister Jyotiraditya Scindia, Dimple Yadav, Shivraj Singh Chauhan, along with Supriya Sule. Moving on, campaigning for the fourth phase of Lok Sabha elections scheduled for the 13th of May gained momentum as political leaders holding rallies and roadshows across the nation. Now, in order to garner support of the voters in the favour of party's candidate, Prime Minister Narendra Modi is all set to visit the political powerhouse state of UP, where he will be holding a rally in Etawah along with Sitapur. Later in the day, Prime Minister Narendra Modi will also visit the holy city of Ayodhya and will seek the blessings of Lord Ram. Prime Minister will also hold a roadshow in the city of Ayodhya. Now, some of the voters in Goa's Bichilim are not impressed by empty promises of restarting mining operations. Others demand a clear commitment from their elected representatives, while still others point to the long-term irreversible ecological damage because of the mining. Jessica Taneja sends this report from the Shirgao mines.
Goa's once booming iron ore industry has fallen on hard times. Allegations of widespread illegalities and tax evasion forced a shutdown, leaving a legacy of environmental concerns and economic uncertainty. Although the Shirgao mines have been in existence for the last 60 years, operations were briefly halted in 2010, only to resume about a month ago. And the truck operators say they find it difficult to make ends meet because they cannot cope with the pressures and high inflation. The wait for these truckers for mining resumption has been unending. Except for some ore transportation in small quantities, they did not get any business.
जो मेन ट्रांसपोर्ट है वो अभी तक चालू नहीं हुआ. जे ट्रांसपोर्ट फ्रॉम माइन टू जेटी जब भी चालू होने का टाइम होता था तब हम किधर से भी लोन लेते थे, नहीं तो हमारे बीवी बच्चे का जो गोल्ड है वो बैंक में रखकर लोन लेते थे और गाड़ी चालू करती थी। ट्रक मालक को बहुत परेशानी हुई है और बहुत लॉसेस में है ट्रक।
But a different story begins to fill the air. Locals are forced to put up with iron ore-laden trucks roaring past their homes round the clock. The ecological damage will be irreversible.
When you are transporting ore, that is huge dust pollution on the roads, because as the trucks moves, there is the dust particles, iron ore particles, which falls on the road, and with the movement of the vehicles, it flies into the houses, it flies into the lungs of all the residents nearby. So that is again a big problem for the health.
In Goa, tourism may reign supreme, but according to a study by National Institution for Transforming India, more than 100,000 people, or 10.5% of the state's workforce, were jobless in 2020-2021. This number hits even closer to home in the mining belt, where key 5 talukas or sub-districts supply 20% of North Goa's voters. Before the halt in mining activities, mining revenue contributed to 20% of the state's GDP. In 2020, Goa's iron ore mining halt cost a revenue loss of over $460 million. In Bicholim, residents like Sudhakar are desperate for a return to mining. They've borne the brunt of economic losses for too long, and their hopes now hinge on the resumption of mining operations.
अभी हमको 10 महीना हुआ, अभी काम नहीं, रिट्रीज क्या कंपनी है। यानी हमारा खेती भी था पहले, खेती के लिए हम काम पे रखा था, अभी हमारा खेती भी गया, काम भी गया, अभी हम कुछ नहीं कर सकते हैं। छोटे छोटे बच्चे, अभी हमारा उम्र भी हुआ।
As parties across the political spectrum promise to revive the mining sector, this election will be a test for candidates who can diversify Goa's economy beyond tourism and mining activities to address unemployment and regain not just economic but also ecological stability. Jessica Thaneja for DD India.
Now, most cities and towns would like to be on the global map or gain national and international recognition for something unique. West Bengal's Murshidabad has similar aspirations. The locals want a Bengali sweetmeat, which was first made in Murshidabad in the 16th century, to be given the Indian government's geographical identification or the GI tag so that the region can benefit from it. Gautam Roy reports.
Bengalis are known for their sweet tooth and passion for fine cuisines. The variety of cottage cheese or chena-based sweets in West Bengal is mind-boggling. The Rasgulla and Gulab Jamun are famed worldwide. But have you heard of Chana Bora?
Chana Bora is made completely with cottage cheese and deep fried in ghee. It's our favorite. We also put a little bit of maida and sugar and then fry it.
It's a sweetmeat which was first made in Murshidabad in the 16th century and is unique to this area, which is going to polls on the 7th of May in the third phase of India's national elections. Legend has it that Murshidabad's Qasim Bazar Maharaja Monin Chandra Nandi was tired of serving the usual sweets to his guests. He's directed his chef Patal Ustad to make something which is neither Rasgulla nor Pantua, and the Ustad came up with Chana Bora. If you come to Murshidabad and don't try the unique and legendary Chana Bora, then they say your trip hasn't been worthwhile. So let's give it a try. Juicy, caramelly, slightly hard but on the outside but soft on the inside, a bit like kala jam but different. The extra heat and thicker than usual sugar syrup gives the Chana Bora a longer shelf life than other cottage cheese based sweets. And in election season, Murshidabad sweetmeat makers are pushing for it to be given a geographical indicator tag by the central government.
We want to put the quality sweetmeats of Murshidabad on the global map. GI tag is very important for that purpose. We also want the GI tag because we would like our small town to get more business and prosper through national and international recognition.
There's a tradition among Murshidabad and its twin city Behrampur's sweetmeat makers to also gift outside Chana Boras to guests and esteemed visitors who've ranged from politicians to film stars.
When
Congress's Rahul Gandhi and former President Pranab Mukherjee came to Behrampur to hold their political rallies, they had come to our shop and tasted our Chana Bora. Even stars from Bollywood and Tollywood have come here and appreciated our sweet.
इतना ही नहीं मोदी जी जब बहरमपुर में अगर सभा करने आए
Whenever Prime Minister Narendra Modi comes to Behrampur, we would like to gift him a giant chana bora.
Who doesn't want to stand out in a crowd? Murshidabad sweetmeat makers feel that they've got what it takes to make chana bora the region's landmark product. They're calling the attention of the political leadership in election season to put Murshidabad on the national culinary and gourmet map. With camera person Uttam Singh, Gautam Roy, Murshidabad, West Bengal, DD India.
Moving on, in Jammu and Kashmir, security has been tightened after an Indian Air Force convoy was attacked by the terrorists on Saturday. One soldier of the Indian Air Force was martyred while 4 others were injured when 2 vehicles, including one of the Indian Air Force, came under firing from terrorists in the Poonch district of Jammu and Kashmir. The security forces have cordoned off the area and have launched a hunt against the terrorists. And now let's quickly take a look at other stories making news across India. The National Testing Agency is conducting the National Eligibility Cum Entrance Test for undergraduate courses in medical institutions across the country on Sunday. More than 24 lakh candidates are appearing for the exam and will be conducted in 13 languages with centres in 557 cities of India and 14 abroad. The foreign cities include Kuwait City, Dubai, Abu Dhabi and Bangkok. Indian Coast Guard Station Mandapam recovered 97 kilograms of endangered sea cucumbers. The sea cucumbers are recovered from the North Vadalai seashore in Park Strait. These precious species are protected under the Wildlife Protection Act 1972 and were handed over to the Tamil Nadu Forest Department for conservation efforts. 3 children drowned while taking bath in Raihar Canal of the Kishni police station area of UP's Mainpuri. As per the official search and rescue, teams retrieved the body of one of the child while search is on for the other 2 missing. Deputy Collector Kishni Mainpuri said that 4 children had come to take bath and 3 of them are still missing. We are moving for a short break, but still to come on DD India Live. Russia puts Ukrainian President Zelensky on its wanted list. Labour's Sadek Khan wins record third term as London mayor. And double-header day today in cricket's mega clash, fans of Punjab and Lucknow to enjoy their home team clashes in IPL.
Joining us today on Champions Speak is none other than legendary goalkeeper P.R. Sujesh, also known as the Great Wall of Indian hockey.
We are just polishing all the areas now. We are just focusing on the best part, the strong areas first, and we are working hard on that.
Penalty shootouts often decide crucial matches in hockey. What goes through your mind during those moments?
Penalty shootout, it's a give and take policy. Then automatically that pressure comes to me.
With the evolving tactics and strategies in modern hockey, how do you adapt your game to stay ahead of the competition?
We can find out our positive and negativity from there. So we do have our homework.
Welcome back after that short break. You're watching DD India Live with me, Deepika. Now, efforts have intensified to secure a deal for a ceasefire in Gaza and the release of hostages, with talks resuming in Cairo on Saturday. Hamas's negotiators have returned to the Egyptian capital to resume long-running talks brokered by Egypt and Qatar that would temporarily pause Israel's offensive in Gaza in return for freeing the hostages. Hamas is insisting any deal makes a specific commitment towards an end to the conflict, but Israel is reluctant to agree while the group remains active in Gaza. Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has repeatedly insisted that there will be a fresh military ground operation in the southern Gazan city of Rafah, even if a deal is agreed. Thousands of protesters rallied in Tel Aviv on Saturday, demanding the release of around 130 hostages still held in Gaza. The protests are being held in other parts of the country, demanding immediate release of hostages. Saturday's protests were held on the eve of Holocaust Memorial Day. The day is observed from sundown the 5th of May to sundown the 6th of May. It comes a week before Remembrance Day for the fallen of Israel's wars and victims of terrorism and Independence Day. Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day begins Sunday night, and this year, as the Israel-Hamas conflict entered its 7th month, the day takes on added symbolism. It is the first Remembrance Day since Hamas's October 7 attack, which was the deadliest day since the Holocaust. Yom HaShoah, that was first observed in Israel in 1951 and became enshrined into law later in the decade, is viewed by many Jewish communities around the world as their primary day for Holocaust remembrance. Later in the evening, Israel's Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Isaac Herzog will also join Israel's Holocaust Remembrance Day opening ceremony in Jerusalem. And now an update on Russia-Ukraine crisis. Russia has opened a criminal case against Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky and put him on a wanted list on Saturday, an announcement Ukraine dismissed as evidence of Moscow's desperation. Ukraine's foreign ministry noted Russian President Vladimir Putin was himself subject to arrest under an international criminal court warrant. It also said the Russian announcement was evidence of the desperation of the Russian state machine and propaganda that can think of no other way to attract attention. Russian attacks on Ukraine's Kharkiv and Dnipro regions and the Black Sea port city of Odessa killed at least 2 people, set a food factory ablaze and damaged other infrastructure, homes and commercial buildings on Saturday. A Russian missile attack set fire to a food factory in an industrial district of Kharkiv city, injuring 6 employees. In the south, Odessa regional governor said 3 people had been injured in the city by a missile strike. An Air Force commander said air defenses brought down all 13 of the attack drones overnight. In the industrial Dnipropetrovsk region, shelling injured 1 and damaged infrastructure in Nikopol near the Russian-held Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant. Moving on to UK, Sadiq Khan has been elected as the Mayor of London, winning a historic 3rd term after a dramatic contest. Sadiq Khan was declared the winner on Saturday afternoon with 43.8% of the vote. Khan, who belongs from the Labour Party, was initially elected to the post in 2016, becoming London's first Muslim mayor, and also is now the first politician to win 3 consecutive terms since the role was created in the year 2000. Tropical cyclone Hidaya has made landfall on the coast of Tanzania. The Tanzanian Meteorological Authority now reported that several coastal regions have encountered unprecedented rainfall. TT India's Isaac Lucando has more.
Record-breaking rainfall of 200 millimeters was recorded in Tanzania's southern region of Lindi, contrasting sharply with the typical May average of 90 millimeters. As Cyclone Hidaya approached the East African coast with maximum winds of 120 kilometers per hour and powerful gusts, ferry services between Tanzania's commercial hub, Dar es Salaam, and Zanzibar were suspended. Cyclones seldom make landfall on Tanzania's coast due to its proximity to the equator, but authorities cautioned residents as Cyclone Hidaya's intensity escalated. In the same vein, the Tanzania Red Cross Society conducted preparedness campaigns along the coast. Heavy rains and flooding in Tanzania over recent weeks have claimed the lives of 161 individuals, with over 200,000 others affected. In neighboring Kenya, the government says 70 deaths have been reported since the onset of the rainy season in March. While Dar es Salaam has largely been spared from the cyclone's effects, further rain is anticipated. The East African region remains highly susceptible to climate change, with El Nino projected to persist through May. Isaac Lukando in Dar es Salaam, reporting for DD India.
Heavy rains in southern Brazil this week killed more than 55 people. Brazil's president is all set to travel back to the state on Sunday to monitor the rescue efforts. Authorities said 74 people were still missing, as storms in the last few days have affected nearly two-thirds of the 497 cities in the state. More precipitation expected to batter the northern and northeastern regions of the state until Sunday. Flash floods and heavy rains in Kenya that began in the middle of March have killed several people. Now, Kenya bracing for massive storm Cyclone Hidaya. Torrential rain and floods have also destroyed homes, roads, bridges and other infrastructure across the region. The government has asked people living near 178 dams and water reservoirs now close to overflowing, as well as those in informal settlements, to close to rivers and streams to evacuate. The Nairobi government has set up 115 camps to host people displaced by the flooding and is working closely with donors and humanitarian organizations to provide food and non-food supplies to those who've been affected. Floods continue to hit parts of East Africa, impacting thousands of people, including refugees in the region, and leaving many of them homeless. In the U.S., at least 178 people have been rescued from homes and vehicles in Texas, with more rain expected over the weekend in the wake of strong storms and downpours that damaged homes and triggered evacuations. Most of the weekend rain will fall over western and central Texas, but a chance of heavier rain returns for the greater Houston area on Sunday. Now, this week's storms were just the latest in a series of brutal weather events that have bounded the state since early April. Dozens of tornadoes have hit from the Panhandle to the Gulf Coast. Some areas of the states have been pounded with softball-sized hail, and months of rain has fallen in East Texas in intense spurts, causing rivers to rise to levels not seen since the devastating floods of Hurricane Harvey in 2017. And now let's quickly take a look at other stories making news across the globe. Dozens of Christians attended a church ceremony in Moscow on the eve of the most holy day in the Orthodox Church calendar, Easter Sunday. The devotees had their Easter cakes, called kulichi, and decorated eggs blessed with holy water by a priest ahead of Orthodox Easter. Thousands gathered at Rio de Janeiro's famous Copacabana beach ahead of a free open-air concert by pop star Madonna that was expected to attract some 1.5 million people. The show in Brazil marks the end of Madonna's greatest hit world tour called Celebration that started late 2023. Moving on in sports, Iga Swiatek won women's singles title in Madrid Open 2024 after beating Aryna Sabalenka in a humdinger of a final on Saturday. After over 3 years, Swiatek won the match by 7-5, 4-6 and 7-6 at Manola Santana. The Pole also avenged her defeat to Sabalenka last year when she lost in another three-setter. And in IPL today, it's going to be a double-header Sunday as two matches will be played today. The first clash will be between Chennai Super Kings and Punjab Kings in Punjab's HPCA Stadium. Now, Chennai Super Kings have been rusty in a few games as they've lost 3 out of 3 their last 4 matches, and they are coming off a loss against Punjab Kings and now will face the same opponents once again. And in second match of the day, Lucknow Super Giants will take on Kolkata Knight Riders at Lucknow's Ekana Stadium. Having won 6 out of 10 matches, Lucknow are number 3 on the points table. They have won 3 out of their last 5 matches. On the other hand, Kolkata Knight Riders have won 7 out of their 10 matches and are at the second position on the points table. The two teams who have performed well in the tournament so far are at the second, which is KKR, and third, which is Lucknow, position in the points table. Interestingly, both the teams faced Mumbai Indians in their previous encounter and won comfortably. And that's all for this edition of DD India Live. But let us know your thoughts on the news of the day. For those on the go, you can get all the latest news and updates from DD India and across India on the DD India mobile app. This app is available on both Android and iOS platforms. Scan the QR code on the screen to download it right now. We'll be back with more news as it breaks here on DD India. I am Deepika Mehto, and from all of us here in New Delhi, thank you so much for watching DD India Live. Namaskar.